Okay, so I wanted to further explain, I guess, expound on how God uses suffering and why suffering is so rampant in these last days. If you already don't, if you don't already know that Jesus is en route, that heaven's about to collide with earth, I pray that you come to grips with that reality rather soon. Let's see. Basically, Jesus is testing his church, our would-be church, if there wasn't so much hypnosis and mind control and in the media system. And that's one reason why they call it programming, because the television media programs you to think a certain way, programs you to think that sin is normal, programs you to think that your cousin is an ape, programs you to think that, to trust the systems, to trust politics more than you trust God. They will also program you to think that there will be a political messiah that will save the day like a superhero, aka the Antichrist. So, now that we've covered those those key truths, let's get to another truth. Okay, another truth. So Jesus is testing his church and will test his church to see who is worthy of leaving this earth and not enduring the foul tribulations, or the wrath, the bowls of wrath that are going to be poured out onto the world when Revelations actually starts to occur. And he's testing us because he has to. Because on Judgment Day, I'm sure a lot of us will want some evidence as to why, Jesus thinks we're worthy of hell. And Jesus can't just say, or the Lord just, he already knows us. He knows that he can't just say, well, you're evil. Or, you only said you loved me. You didn't really love me. He wants to provide us with truth as well, so we won't be in hell thinking, I got chipped, I got bamboozled, I don't deserve this place, God just went a little too hard on me. No, he wants to give you those key scenarios to prove why his decision was just. So on Judgment Day, when he plays back every test that you failed, he wants you to think about that. It's a part of your eternal judgment. So when you're in hell, enduring the justice that is due to you, he wants it to replay in your mind. Oh, this is why. This is why. It's an awful thing, but it is justice. Eternal justice. So hopefully that explains to you why testing is very, very, very necessary. I felt compelled to give you that example. I kind of feel like this is going to be a short video, that might be the premise of this entire cast. I want to offer some encouragement, okay? I know this is an unpopular verse, but it will be the theme of a lot of people's life story in the coming days. Blessed are those that are persecuted, for they have many kingdoms in heaven. If you remember that, saints, and would-be saints, people that, enter sainthood through the trials and tribulations that become their life, either from seeking the truth or whistleblowing or both. Understand that if you've become persecuted, it is for good reason and you are in good company. Don't get focused on all the distractions that the devil is throwing at you. Because, I mean, it's going to be a lot. I'm not even going to lie and tell you, when you get saved, it's going to be rainbows and butterflies, because we live in the last days. We are one of the last generations. So it's not going to be all rainbows and butterflies for us. Our stories will compare with those of biblical characters. The worst thing that happens to you will not be that your goldfish died. It will be something far worse. I'm not trying to fearmonger. I'm trying to forewarn you to be realistic. If you want an easy life, don't choose Christianity. No, not now. But if you want to live in the truth, and you've always been a truth seeker, and you've always sought the truth, and you've always exposed evil as a whistleblower, do you know who you are? I mean, do you really know who you are? You're God's child. That's why you have this pull towards exposing all the evils and discrepancies and inconsistencies in society. And that's why you have this pull towards everything that's true and just and right and equal. Because you're one of God's kids. Only God's children have that pull. Only people that were intended for God's kingdom have the need for justice, want to expose the evil of the world, are courageous and brave enough to do that sort of thing, to go against the grain, to do that sort of thing. No one else has that. Satan's children, they could care less. As long as they benefit from the lopsidedness of the playing fields, they're good. They're good. You might be practicing Buddhism, Hinduism. You might be practicing Church of Scientology. You might be practicing atheism. You might be a witch or a warlock, but if you love the truth, and you have this pull to expose inconsistencies and evils of this world, you're a Christian. You're a Messianic Jew, but you're a believer. You belong to this family. A family of elect Jews and elect Christians. You belong to our family. And the sooner you realize that, the better. The sooner you give up the ways of the world, the better. God bless.